Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 16 of season 3 of Where's That Bar Card? I am Nick Dury, one of your hosts. Alongside me is
Gina Louise Phillips.
Daryl Purvis.
Monty Malcolm Scott.
wow.
Yeah. Everyone
That
do
was
the
the
three
first.
names.
I only have two.
We can
What?
start over. I could throw Gordon in there if that helps.
Well, I felt
I could
left
say
out.
I'm Nick Taylor Dury. How about that?
Wouldn't that be something if that was your middle name?
Right? Nick Taylor? That would be great.
Or just Nick Taylor during.
Yeah.
And then
Taylor could be
Sure.
a name on its own. You don't need to be a second Nick.
I don't mind it. We've got just a super exciting guest for you today. It's a PGA Class A professional. I don't know even what these words are, but I'm going to say them. She's TPI Level 1 and Golf 2 certified, the 2022 PGA of Canada Female Player of the Year, and the Director of Women's Development at Modern Golf. It's Emma de Groot on the podcast this week. Super excited to meet Emma. I think she actually said this is her first podcast ever. She's never done one before. So this is exciting.
love that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
But we
she
would
seems-
be
I hope we don't ruin podcasts for her.
well,
Yeah.
that would be terrible. But we're excited to get to Emma, but we have to talk. I mean, we just had the most epic Canadian Open of all time that just happened a couple days ago upon this recording. And my God, so did you guys all see it live?
Well, I mean, live from my TV.
Yeah, sure.
And it
Yeah.
really reminded me of The Shot by Kawhi Leonard. Because Diane and I are
Yes.
watching. Diane's on her phone, not really paying attention,
Yeah.
and then she looks up just as it's going in, and then we both scream. And I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, really
It was so dramatic. It was so dramatic. And then Adam Hadwin on top of that.
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
thing. I love it. I hope people think about the Canadian Open in an iconic way now going forward. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that it generated enough buzz, like
Yeah.
for being like so fun and like the place where things happen, that going forward, everyone looks to it. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Crazy wins. It was a 70-foot putt. It was.
Yeah, 72 feet, I think. Did you
Okay.
see the tackle, Monty? Do you want to rate the tackle? What would you give the tackle out of 10?
It was pretty good. I love that, getting tackled with the champagne bottle. I guess he figured he was going to hit him with the champagne bottle,
I guess. I don't know.
because usually people with champagne mean well.
Yeah.
On a golf course, yes, it's very
Yeah.
rare.
Rarely aggressive.
Yeah, I would say if someone's coming at you with a champagne bottle, usually good. Yeah, you know.
They're just looking to share and to
Yeah.
celebrate.
It's usually, rarely are they assaulting you with a champagne bottle. I've never been hit with a champagne bottle.
Not yet.
About spraying
Not
Monty
yet.
at his wedding, I'll tell you that.
I don't want
I
someone.
don't-
I don't want
have-
Nick Reynoldson tackling me.
Yeah, I don't have a Scarborough coming at me as I'm trying to spray Monty.
Coming at, don't mistake me for a boat and smash a bottle off my head.
I love that his wife tweeted after that in true Canadian form. He apologized to the security guard.
Of course. That's amazing.
It's open and there's like a safety helmet and all kinds of safety gear in his locker.
That was nuts. It was pretty.
Man.
Maybe we could get him and the guy that tackled Basai when they won the
Oh, yeah.
Raptors won the championship. We'll get them together. Overzealous security.
Yes. I forgot about that.
Say what you will, though, this new era of Saudi Arabian golf is fantastic. I love it.
That's true. They're getting out
There's
of oil.
more violence. Canadians are winning dramatically.
Yeah. Incredible.
Women aren't allowed, but we'll work on that.
Yeah, they've been working diligently on it with Saudi Arabia for quite some time. So far, no dice.
Just an incredible event to watch. Was amazing, as Gina said. Hopefully this reverberates and it just raises
Yeah.
that level of that. We should also update, because we've been talking about it a lot. We had Daryl's album recording this past weekend. Monty hosted. I did a spots. It went phenomenal. Daryl crushed it. Right down the fairway, 350 yards, Daryl. It was amazing. And you just did that over and over and over. You're actually, Monty and I didn't even stay in the green room. We actually came out and watched your entire set from the show. It was
That's the
amazing.
biggest compliment you can give to a comedian is that you
Yeah.
didn't stay in the green room. And look, Monty smuggled enough booze in there. You would have thought he would stay in that green room.
Yes, we had to go back to refill. We
Well,
did leave it. Yeah.
Yeah, we did have 2 refills actually. I should specify.
That's a lot
But,
of bitters. That's a lot of bitters in your
A
system
lot of
still.
bitters. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was phenomenal. Look for Daryl's album to come out in the coming months. It's just being there live was incredible, and if you want to listen to it, you'll thoroughly enjoy it. It was fantastic. TP, nice job.
Oh, yeah, it's a banger.
Thank you. Well, I mean,
Congrats.
it's not going to be nominated for a Juno like Monty's,
Well,
but
you never know.
it's still
Oh.
You
an
don't
honor.
know.
That one's got Juno written
I
all
know.
over it. You kidding me?
I'm actually going to call it Juno, so it's got Juno written all over it.
Why do you get nominated? I'm coming at you with a champagne bottle. It's gonna take security's gonna have to hold me down.
I can't afford security. This is gonna hurt.
See that.
Maybe Diane will tackle me on the way to you with the
Super excited for this episode. Enjoy us and Emma
Yeah.
de Groot. Welcome, and it's lovely to meet you. Thank you for doing
Yes.
this.
Thank you for having me.
This is
Ah,
great.
nice to meet
we're
you.
excited to
Your
have
your
you.
first ever podcast?
It is, well, I think I've done, not I think, I have done one before, but it was like maybe 5 or 6 years ago for my
Hmm.
college, like one that my college golf team did. But this is the first, like, this one feels different. It's like my first official one.
Oh, good.
Way less
Yeah.
professional than your college one, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be a little bit better.
Yeah, that's how we build the podcast.
Well.
Actually, it feels different. That is one of our main goals at all times. It'll feel different.
Love that. You
Sure.
go, well, nailing the brief so far.
Yeah.
I know you were. We're just going to get into it if that's cool. I know you were at the Hamilton Golf and Country Club for a number of years, and now you're at Modern Golf still. Is that correct?
No, I actually, at the beginning of this year, I decided to go out on my own and start my
Oh,
own
cool.
teaching business,
Nice.
which has
Cool.
been excellent. Modern golf was amazing. I just wanted a little bit more of an opportunity to teach people outdoors,
Sure.
teach more aspects of the game. So I now teach out of Copetown Woods Golf Course. I'm not sure if you know where that is, but it's in the Hamilton area. But yeah, working for myself, which I must say is very nice.
That's great. So you're living still in
That's
Hamilton?
cool.
Yep, live in Hamilton. Yeah, still, and about 5 minutes from the Hamilton Golf and Country Club. So that's where even the trek from Hamilton out to Oakville every day was kind of a bit of a
Mm,
bummer. So something a little bit closer to home, and like I said, kind of make my own schedule and whatnot is really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But how did you end up in Hamilton after? Did you went to college and then did you turn pro after college?
I did, yeah. So I played. I turned pro in 2011, and then I went. I was kind of 4 years on the what is now the Epsom Tour, Symetra Tour then.
Hmm.
And then 1 year I had status on the LPGA, so I kind of went back and forth a little bit there. And then but during that time, I met my now wife, and we kind of traveled together for a while. She caddied for me for a few years after she stopped playing, and she's from the beautiful city of Hamilton, and it's how I ended up in this lovely area.
Our own Nick Terry used to live in Hamilton, and he
Yeah.
actually has a joke about Hamilton that I would love to hear right now.
I have several jokes about Hamilton. I don't know that I necessarily want to do them on my podcast, but no, I did move there, Emma, for 3 years actually. I took a job in Hamilton, and it was I lived and worked right in downtown Hamilton. It was quite an interesting experience.
Yeah, I don't usually go there alone. I'm from a very I'm from a small town in Australia. It's not my downtown consists of like one street
Yeah.
with shops, cafes, restaurants. It's a very different, like where I grew up, it's very different than here. And I remember when we first came to Hamilton, where Ashley's family lived is kind of, it's in a nice area. So I was like, oh, this is all good and great and
Sure.
lovely. And then, as I started to venture down into different areas, I was like, well, this is a bit different than what, maybe I'll stick to where I know, and then we'll just,
Sure.
you can show me the other areas as we go.
And like literally looking down too, because you were probably up on that mountain.
On the mountain.
Yeah.
My sister used to live in Hamilton, and my wife and I went there, and it's my wife's first time in Hamilton, and we're driving there, and we're stopped at a red light, and she was just like, is that man naked? And there was just a guy sitting on a rock, completely naked. I was like, welcome to Hamilton.
Yeah,
Yep.
it does. It keeps it exciting, and it does have a lot of beautiful parts. I do always have to, I always give it a hard time, but there are a lot of really nice things about it. Lots of awesome restaurants. I do enjoy living here. It just has its little quirks, I guess we would say.
And
it's got a bunch
would
of
you
waterfalls.
A bunch of waterfalls, that's true. How would you characterize the sort of golf scene in general, like outside of even the Hamilton Golf and Country Club in Hamilton, like as you've experienced? This was before I really got back into the game when I lived there, so I only played a handful of times, and I played like Chidok a couple times when I was there, which is a phenomenal little municipal course. But how would you characterize the courses in the Hamilton area?
From an actual like layout perspective, or
Sure.
just I mean, I think that they're very similar to the kind of golf courses that you see all over the GTA. There's some beautiful golf courses, a lot of really nice, whether they're semi-private or public golf courses too, that they keep in really good shape. Layout standpoint, nothing really different than what you would expect, but the actual golfing, I mean, it's so popular here, and I'm assuming just like everywhere through COVID, it really just took off. To where I was actually just looking before I was late for the podcast, I was looking, for a tea time for this was pre-chicken. I was looking for a tea time for 2 Tuesdays from now at the golf course that we played most of our golf at, and I could get one at like 6:50 a.m. or 5:50 p.m. And I was like, well, so it's a tough school, but good, I guess. Good for me who teaches golf.
We have very divergent tastes when it comes to early or late golf. So what tee time of those did you select?
I selected none of them, but I would select I'm very particular about my tea times as well, in that like I don't ever like to play through a meal time. So I hate playing through lunch, because then what am I going to eat for lunch?
Interesting.
I think about food most of the time. So I am more of a if I can play at 8 and be done by 12, or if I can play at 12:30 and be done, and again, it all centers around too, like the morning rounds are a different vibe for me than an afternoon round, where we might then have some drinks, we might then go to the patio. Like that's a whole different kind of thing, versus if you're teeing off at 8 in the morning, it's probably more of you're there to play golf, I guess.
Sure.
So depends on the vibe of the round.
Wait, do you eat meals at the same time every day? Like, are you very structured?
Not at the same time, but I would just if we played at 10, which meant we weren't going to finish till 2, I wake up super early just naturally. So then I would be hungry during the round, and then I would have to be like, well, what am I going to have? And I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. I just make it more complicated than it is.
That's funny.
Gina gets so excited about that. Did anybody else notice that? Gina's just
she really perked up.
I think she must eat at the same time every day. She was looking for a kindred spirit in that conversation.
I haven't seen her this excited since that one guy said that women don't enjoy sex. This is
I forgot about that. No, I actually find people's relationship to food really interesting. And I do know some people that like get really thrown off if they're not eating meals at certain times of the day. And then I was thinking how like you ate dinner early tonight, like for how I would eat dinner. And then I got really wrapped up in my head about your eating habits there. I got carried away.
Well, we can talk after the podcast if you want to go deeper into it. We can definitely.
Gina's been hopped up on painkillers for about a week now. She threw it back out. So
I did. Oh my god. I actually blame golf. Well, I don't blame golf, but I do blame my bad playing for this problem. My hips haven't been moving properly. And then I thought about in my golf swing, I'm like, wait, I haven't been moving my hips at all. My hips have been stuck. That's an issue.
Interesting.
That's an issue. Yeah, that'll affect some stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never know what my hips are supposed to do. I assume they're doing the right things, but
you know what? If that's what you assume, then that's perfect. You know what?
Like, I don't know. My hips are,
Yeah, that's what I tell my clients, when they come, I'm like, well, if you assume you're doing the right thing, then it's probably perfect. That's
right on. Well, much like Shakira, my hips do not lie. And I figure they're doing what they should be doing.
I gotta assume, so you started playing golf at 13 back in Australia. Did you, sorry if this is a naive question, did you have off seasons there, or was golf in season all the time?
Yeah, it's always in season. So it was interesting when I moved to to America. And I mean, I went to school in Chattanooga, which
Mhm.
is golfable all year round. It gets cold, but it's not like it is here. But to learn and understand the difference in growing up in Australia versus growing up in Canada, like even when I talk to my wife about it, it's kind of like they would have their season and then they would have all this off season where she would just get into a net and work just on because back then too you didn't necessarily have like TrackMan and these projectors and it was all a little bit different. So it was just kind of like you just hit into a net and watch a video of your swing and go from there. But for us, it was basically you just went year round and you went and you tried to make your swing changes along the way. And I mean, in hindsight, I could see growing up there would be a lot of benefit to having to stop playing competitive golf. But at the same time now, I think juniors, as soon as it gets to the wintertime, they travel down to the States and they play tournaments in the States. So, but yeah, we were just, you know, I played soccer all the way through until when I went to college as well. And so I would, on a Saturday morning, I would play in the junior comp for golf. I'd play 18 holes and then mum would drive me to soccer and then I would go and play soccer all afternoon and then kind of back to the golf course later. So it was, you just kind of went, and soccer in Australia is a winter sport as well. Just kind of fun fact for you. Too hot to play it in the summer.
Meals.
Crazy.
That's what drove me crazy about soccer. I always get furious playing soccer because we always used to play like at noon, and I was just irate with the sun on me, all running around in the sun. It's terrible.
Yeah.
What was yeah, go ahead, Gina.
I was going to say, what are the transferable skills, would you say, between soccer and golf? I love soccer. I played a lot of my life, but it wasn't during my time playing golf. So I'm curious your thoughts on that.
I mean, mainly, when I talk to people about the way that the body's supposed to move in the golf swing, and I'll always relate it to, whether you're throwing a ball or even kicking a ball, because a lot of people haven't played bat and ball sports before, but your body always sort of proceeds it always starts the motion. So when you kick a soccer ball, you run up and then you step and then you kick, right? Same as if you were going to hit a golf ball and you would kind of get the body to move first and then the arms would come through, because it's hard. We've been throwing balls and kicking balls since we were kids, just as what you do, right? And when you get somebody on a driving range to do that movement, nobody like does that and then steps, or like moves their arm and then steps, or nobody like kicks the ball and then steps the other foot. Like it always happens in the right sequence. So I think from a sequencing perspective, kind of using some of those things and bringing them into just, even if it's just conceptually understanding how the golf swing works a little bit more, can be helpful.
Totally.
Did you take to the game super easy? Like, did it come naturally to you out of the gate at 13, and did you get really good really quickly? Because it's not a long time to go from 13 to say 17, 18 when you've got to decide whether you're going to go to the States on scholarship.
I would say I took to it pretty quickly. And we had like a couple of like after school like clinic things where you would play golf with some other juniors and the coach would be there and you would just go and hit balls all afternoon. And I had a lot of not a lot, but I had a decent amount for that time of juniors at my golf club who, like, that's just what we did. We just practiced all the time. Like we just went, I used to catch the bus after school to the golf course and then I would practice for a few hours and my dad would pick me up after work and I would do that Monday to Friday. Then, like I said, I'd play on Saturdays. And so it just, and probably you can improve faster when you are playing year round as well. But I just loved it and got addicted to it right away. And yeah, I would say I was naturally pretty good at it, but then obviously a lot of hard work kind of on top of that too.
Of course, yeah. But what about competition in Australia, or was like your first taste of competition in college golf?
No, so we had so each state had its own kind of foundation. So in New South Wales, where I'm from, we had there was a professional golfer called Jack Newton. Ours was called the Jack Newton Junior Golf Foundation. Then in Brisbane, they had the Greg Norman Junior Golf Foundation. And so there was different ones in different states. And so we would have competitions within our state, and our New South Wales was pretty competitive. And then you would play interstate events against other states. So it was there was a vast array of competitions. We traveled a lot. Like the town I'm from is about, well, back then the roads were not even as good. I sound like I'm ancient, but the highways are better now. So it was like a 7-hour drive to get to Sydney, but we would go there multiple times a month to play in tournaments and whatnot. So there was a lot of competitions that I played in, which was, I guess, how I got recognized, because I never came, like the first time I ever went to America was when I was moving there to live. Like I didn't go and play any events or anything over there. So just sort of took the leap.
Was that a big shock adjusting to courses in America, or were they similar to Australia?
I mean, they were different in terms of maybe like, well, from where I grew up to what the grass type was like in Chattanooga was different. But no, not really. It wasn't like going from playing links golf to going to play tree line golf. The golf
Sure.
courses in general were relatively similar. I would say it was just more the being away from home and trying to adjust to that side of things. That was probably more different. I loved college golf and I did pretty well at it, and I never really had trouble adjusting to different types of golf courses. I actually quite enjoy that challenge. I don't love playing the same golf course all the time. I like seeing different golf courses and kind of trying to figure them out in that sense. But yeah, just the distance you are away from family, and again, to make myself sound ancient, it wasn't as easy with like FaceTimes and iMessages, and it was kind of like Skype and trying to figure all those pieces out that just made things trickier, I guess.
Grew up in the Skype era. That's crazy. How did you make it through that?
I know. It was tough. It'll definitely be its own chapter in my book that I write one day for sure. Skype era.
I was curious how comparable the roads were.
I again make it sound like it was, but it was bad. Like our highways, even now, some of our highways in Australia are still like one lane going one way, one lane going the other way. Then every like 5-10 kilometers, you'll get like a 500-meter overtaking lane. There's some of the biggest differences that I noticed going from Australia to America were like, I mean, in America, every exit has a McDonald's or a Wendy's or all of the above, and a petrol station and all of that. And you can scan the radio station and have like 8,000 options of simply just one genre of music to listen to. Right. In Australia, it's like you can scan that radio station and you'll get the same 5 over and over and over again. Like I said, the roads are better now, but they were not necessarily great back in my day.
Just a lot of midnight oil and
wow, come on, bud. Crowded house.
Okay. We've had a number of guests on who went to college to play, like on scholarships, and it strikes me that the majority of them didn't like the competition, or the competitive nature of golf kind of, I don't want to say messed with them, but sort of interfered with their enjoyment of it. Like, how did you enjoy the competition? I know you won 6 times, so you obviously enjoyed it and thrived in it, I would say. But how did that sort of psychologically sit with you?
So I probably preferred it more because I prefer playing as part of a team. So I like the fact that you have, 4 other people that are kind of on your side. If you don't have your best day, you have 4 other people that are hopefully going to be able to pick you up. I like playing for something more than just me and how I'm doing, like kind of having that extra level of incentive or whatever it is. I like wearing a uniform. I like playing for a team, that kind of thing, right? So I could see, and granted, I mean, I went to Chattanooga. It was a great school, but the year I started there was the first year they had a program since like a really long time before. And then I think through Title IX, they got golf again. And so I kind of came in, and it wasn't like I think if I started at like a University of Florida or some huge golfing school and huge just school in general, there would have been a different feeling in that I kind of felt like I had to prove myself, and I felt like I had to find my place within this massive, even just campus and then team that maybe had 10 or 11 girls on it, and I was just trying to be one of 5.
Right.
Whereas UTC, it was kind of, when I started, we had 5 girls, and 5 girls played every week or every tournament. So
That's great.
You didn't have that, and there were even a couple of events that we only had 4 girls. So your score counted, but like there was never that extra, will I play, will I not, kind of trying to, like I said, prove myself. So that probably helped me a lot, being somewhere a little bit smaller. But yeah, because then when I left and I turned professional, and then you're doing it all by yourself, and you're booking your own flights, and you're kind of out on your own, and you reap what you sow or whatever, right? Like you make however good you play, that's what you make it. That to me was where I didn't necessarily thrive in that regard. I thought I love the team. I would much rather have all golf be team golf if it was me. I love match play. I don't know. I thrive a bit differently in those kinds of situations.
And it might change the way that everybody functions as well if it were more of a team atmosphere. I was just talking about this at Women's Golf Day with Elena Sharp, who was saying everybody is an individual contractor, and that is the way, that is your mindset. So when it comes to coming together to make a big shift in the industry, or in this case we were talking about like fighting for more media coverage for the LPGA tour, that it's hard to get everybody on the same page when you are just known as these individuals and you think of yourself as an individual. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everyone, the people that are here versus the people that are here probably have very different desires, goals, aspirations, whatever they think, however they think, whether it's media, publicity, funding, prize money, whatever it is, people are going, well, I want to do what's best for me versus, maybe if it was more of that team element, you're kind of, you're fighting for a group of people, and it's less of, all these voices coming in all the time. And I think at the same time, I think that's why you get so much hype around team events like the Ryder Cup and the Solheim Cup and whatnot, because I mean, even the players are different. The players show more personality, and I think it makes it more enjoyable to watch. And I do think that, like with the LPGA, is where it can struggle a little bit from an enjoyability standpoint to watch, because they don't necessarily show as much flair, and you don't get maybe the quality of coverage. I was just watching earlier today the practice rounds for the US Open, and there's cameras everywhere. There's inside the ropes. You start to get to know the golfers more versus, the LPGA might showcase that on their YouTube channel, but how many people are actually going onto their YouTube channel and learning more about these girls? And that's where I think, and I think the same thing happened at the President's Cup with Tom Kim, when he, everyone started to learn who Tom Kim was because he came out of his shell in the President's Cup. You would never have got that in an individual element. So I think that in terms of, media coverage, and I think that the more that you can make the product just super enjoyable and fun to watch versus just fairway green. Thank you, fairway green. Thank you. It's, I don't know. It's a tough one though, because that's just the person doing their job, and that's how they go about doing their job. So you can't all of a sudden tell them to do it differently, but it's tricky.
With Netflix, it'd be interesting to have like LPGA do full swing, but for women.
100%. And I think it would be very eye-opening to a lot of people to see the difference in the way that they live. I mean, I don't think that there's too many LPGA golfers, maybe the Quarter Sisters, maybe a few of them, but I don't think that there's too many that are flying 30 minutes to go play a practice round and then flying back at night, or jumping on their private jets and doing all that sort of stuff. I think it would be also really eye-opening in that sense to go, oh, the best here versus the best here. They're still living a very different life.
We sorry to put you on the spot, but we didn't have a guest last week to talk about the Live PGA Tour merger. Do you want to? Can you give us your opinions on that?
I don't really I go back and forth all the time. The more I talk about it, the more I could just talk in circles, because it's obviously the same issues that call it the majority of people had originally, where the money is still coming from where the money is coming from. So it doesn't mean all of a sudden, because you've called it a new company and it's not Live, it's the PIF, it's still, the money's still coming from a really just terrible place. But then this is where I go all over the place with it, because then you look at so many of the sporting events that we watch. I watch Formula One, even the Ladies European Tour has a lot of Aramco on it. I'm watching some sport the other day, I don't remember. Oh, cricket. And there was Aramco written on the cricket field. And the Saudi money seems to be everywhere, even if maybe I don't even necessarily realize that it is. So, it's probably one of those. I mean, I want to see all the best golfers playing together. I missed watching Cam Smith. I missed watching DJ Brooks. I'm glad, or I hope that maybe this brings some kind of cohesion back to it all.
Mm.
I never really watched Live. I didn't ever get into, funnily enough, because I just talked so much about how much I
I
love
know.
team events, but I just never really got into it, probably because I never watched it enough to like form a favorite team and
Sure.
whatever. But I think it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. You know, I think Rory maybe said it in his press conference last week, where he said something along the lines of like, you know, it's, if the money's going to come, at least maybe we can do something good with it. And
Mm.
I don't know. I do think that the Saudis will just own golf for sure. I think that even if you have, you know, the board might be dominated by, you know, call it PGA Tour employees or whatever, like they might dominate the board, but at the end of the day, the money's got to come from somewhere to do any of the initiatives. And I think that this last week or 2 weeks has gone to show that money probably goes further than, you know, a seat on the board might look like you've got more power, but I don't necessarily think you do. So I don't know. Like Jay Monahan said, and I think, you know, it'll be how golf looks in 10 years, and I don't have a clue. I don't necessarily
Sure.
love it, and I was super surprised when I saw the news, just like I'm sure everybody else was. But it'll be interesting to see over the next few weeks how even if this begins to play out, because, you know, as I say, it's just an agreement to make an agreement right now. There's not actually an agreement, so I guess we'll see what it actually looks like when it's laid out a bit more.
Interesting.
Did it-
You were posting from the Canadian Open, is that right? Were you there?
Yeah, we went on the Saturday.
Cool. Have you ever experienced in Australia something to the height of what we just got to experience as Canadians, with a Canadian winning it in that way in Australian golf? Would
I
would
mean,
like Adam Scott winning the Masters be about the equivalent?
yeah, that would be the equivalent of anything that I would probably actually remember. You know, I'm sure that there were golfing. I'm sure Greg doing stuff back before
Sure,
I ever
right.
really golfed was big. But in terms of my generation and my involvement with golf, even, you know, that Adam winning the Masters would be the biggest probably golfing sporting moment that you would look at in Australia. I think you could ask pretty much any Aussie the same question and they would go Adam Scott winning the Masters.
And to be honest, it was a pretty big day for the Scott clan. You know, nice to have a Scott win in general. You know,
It's missing his
Monty.
I see now. Yeah, you must have. Did you guys have a good time afterwards? Did you guys have a nice?
yeah,
guys
yeah, we
talk?
did some caber tossing and such, and we
Perfect.
ran around in kilts for a little bit. We're pretty pumped about it.
I'm sure.
just-
I'm sure, Emma, you can tell the exact resemblance between Adam Scott and Monty.
Because I've been sitting here this whole time going, why does he look so familiar? You should wear green more, and you might get into a lot of cool places.
Yeah, I have the less traditional Scottish look.
Yeah, yes, you do indeed. Oh dear.
Shall we get into the par five? Monty, do you want to lead us in?
Listen, I'm pretty excited about the merger of tours, but I wanted to know for sure, is this a par five?
Beautiful.
Just a par five.
Emma, your favorite golf course in the world?
Okay, so I would have to say there's a few golf courses in Australia that I'll mention that you probably, well, my home golf course is always going to hold a special place in my heart, Coffs Harbour Golf Club. It's just because that's where I grew up playing. There's a golf course in Sydney called New South Wales Golf Course that is one of the most picturesque, beautiful golf courses. You play holes that are right along the water, like right along the ocean. Par 3 that you hit over a cliff. It's just immaculate. So that one, but then I can't. I know you asked for one. Here's my third one.
No.
There's a golf course about an hour and a half from where I live, and it's a 6-hole golf course, and it is like the most prime real estate you would ever imagine. It's off of a caravan park or a trailer park. I don't know what, like where people camp. It's only 6 holes. You can wear whatever you want. Like we played it when we were home last. I wore my swimmers, some like denim shorts and flip-flops.
Wow.
The holes are like you're up on this, you know, these huge cliffs hitting over the ocean, but you know, at the back of holes you've got people walking along the the boardwalk, walking their dogs. You've got surfers on the other side surfing. Like it is
Wow.
just the most. And you can, I think it's like $20 and you can play the 6 holes as many times as you want.
Oh,
When I
Oh
was,
my God.
sounds
when we were there last
ideal.
time, it was ridiculous. And like when we were there last time, I went to this little pro shop that isn't really a pro shop, just kind of where you check in. And I asked, we had some drinks and I asked them if they sold chips, if they had a vending machine for like, yeah, chips. And he was like, yeah, we do, but probably be cheaper to just go across the road to like there was just like a little convenience store and just buy some chips there and bring them back. Oh, like it's just the most relaxed vibe. You can go play 12 holes, you can go have lunch, you can go surf, you can go do whatever, you can come back, you can play more. And the
Wow.
scenery of this place, the view, like it's the
Oh,
closest thing I probably ever played to Pebble Beach for $20.
Oh my God.
Like it's just ridiculous. So that has to make my list. But like I said, it's a 6-hole golf course, so it probably doesn't
wow.
like you're not going to see it on tour
Incredible.
anytime soon, but it's
Sure.
amazing.
Wow.
That is the key,
Ignorant.
though.
What are swimmers? You were wearing your
Oh,
swimmers? Like,
yeah, oh, bathing suit.
oh,
I don't know, the thing you swim in that you wear to the beach.
oh.
See, I
Swimmers,
didn't know,
you swim in
Daryl.
them.
I pieced it together based on the swimming aspect.
Daryl,
I
Daryl's
was picturing the thing. What are those things you put on your feet to swim the little
Flippers.
Flippers,
Flippers.
yeah, I was
Flippers.
picturing flippers.
Daryl actually swims in denim shorts. That's why he was confused. That's why.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
golf shorts
That's-
all the time.
that's why you're sinking. That's not that's not it for you.
And then thinking about your bucket list courses, other than, and I'm going to interrupt my own question, but other than St. Andrews, Augusta, or Pebble, which course would you most want to play in the world? But I think you've been to Augusta 3 times, at least 3 times. Is that correct?
I have, yeah. I haven't played it, but I've been there a few times. We were lucky enough. My coach growing up, he used to coach a couple of Australian guys. So when I was in college, he got us some tickets. And then
Wow.
when you have your LPGA tour card, you can just use that credential as a ticket.
Oh,
So
wow.
you're able to get in with that. And then one of the days, which you're not allowed to do, but one year we went and we had Monday practice round tickets and it got like rained out. Like we were there for the morning and then like this huge storm came over and they evacuated the golf course. So we just decided to go back the next day and see if we could find somebody that was leaving and buy their tickets from them. And so Ash and I went and this couple was walking out and we said, oh, we'll trade you, because some people like to keep their tickets as like a,
Yeah.
little, so we were like,
Right.
can we trade you our Monday practice round tickets for your Tuesday and go back in? And you actually have to like scan yourself out and back in. So we were taking a bit of a risk that they actually did that. But I mean, I think we paid $50 for the 2, or maybe $50 each. It was like super
Wow.
cheap. And we went in and we spent all of Tuesday afternoon there. And we
Oh
got
my
so
God.
lucky because I don't know if it was the Monday or the Tuesday, but I think it was actually the Monday. But when they were evacuating the golf course, no, it wouldn't have been then. Anyway, whichever one of the 2 days, it was like getting towards the end of, it must have been a Tuesday, getting towards the end of the day. And we saw these golf carts driving down number 10. And we were like, they're going in the opposite direction to where most people are going. Like, let's just go follow it.
Mm.
And it was Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, and Arnold Palmer. And they were
Wow.
going to do a photo on
Wow.
the bridge that crosses over number 12. And there was probably
Jeez.
only like, I would say max 50 people there at that corner watching it, and like a bunch of media and whatnot. But we just kind of stood there and we're like, I think we've died and gone to heaven. This can't be, it can't be
That
real
is
life.
wild.
Yeah, so we've
Wow.
been lucky to go there a few times.
So now I'll continue the question. The one course you've not yet played that you would love to play other than those 3.
So Pebble Beach, Augusta, and St. Andrews, as I said?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not like a huge golf course buff, really. I just love Augusta. Like it's
Yeah.
probably because they go there every year and you just know every hole. So I don't even know that I would have an answer for you, because it would be those 3, because like I said, I don't know golf architecture. I don't know. I wouldn't go, I really want to play this because of this. I actually was just in Chicago trying to do a qualifier for the US Open because it was going to be at Pebble Beach. So it was just like
Oh,
trying
no
to
way.
get whatever I could
Wow.
to get into those
Cool.
events or into those places. But I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer.
Did you
I'll
play
probably
a
think
lot
of
in?
one as soon as we hang up.
Sorry, do you have to wear green swimmers at Augusta or just any color?
You know what? I'll let you know when I get there and get to play. I'll try green when I rock up and I'll see what they say.
I've heard you asked a version of this question in a YouTube clip that I watched of you earlier, but our question is a little bit more nuanced. So it's putting together your ideal foursome with the caveat no PGA, LPGA, or Live Tour players, and you can allow anyone alive or dead. So you answered, and it was a great answer. I think it was all tour players. But with that caveat, who would you pick to round out your foursome?
This question is really hard because I realize that I shouldn't say I don't care about, but I don't follow much else except golf.
Okay.
So I was
good.
trying to rack my brain and think who would I want to play with, and probably one of the people I've seen is kind of a random one, but one would be Jim Nance, who
Oh, yeah.
that is a random person, but I've done nothing about it. But I would love to get into the golf like media space.
Oh,
you
cool.
know.
Wow.
And so
Cool.
listening to him, watching what he's done, and I've listened to some podcasts of even how he got started in the world of commentary, and basically just showed up at a tournament one day and knocked on a trailer door and was like, let me know what I can do to help, and kind of got his start that
Cool.
way. I just
Cool.
think I would love to pick his brain, and I think he's probably got one of the coolest jobs ever between all of the sports that he goes and covers.
Yeah.
And then Michael Jordan,
Yep.
because I couldn't pick Tiger Woods, and I just think
Right.
greatest athletes of all time and he's such a huge
Yep.
golfer. He likes
Yeah.
to gamble on the golf course. I think he would just be a really good time to go play around a golf with.
Do you
like
think
any elite-
right now, like going out today, could you take down Jordan?
I don't know what his golfing talent is really like, but I think I'd have a good shot at it.
Love it. That's great. I love that answer.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think like I was trying to think of athletes that I would want to, because that would be the space that I would be probably mainly interested in. And then, like I said, if I couldn't pick a golfer, and I was trying to just think of, and probably recently because we just watched Air on the weekend, the movie about him being
Yeah.
signed with
Oh,
Nike,
yeah.
and then watching the Netflix documentary that they did about the Chicago Bulls and mainly with him. And I just think like I'd again love to learn more about what it's like to have that killer instinct and how he got that way and how he became kind of the guy that he is. And then super obvious, but I'd have to take my wife because she'd be really mad at me if I didn't take her. And I was playing with Jim,
I love
Jim Nance and Michael
fair.
Jordan. I think I'd get
Thank your wife for
So-
political reasons to maintain the
Yeah,
stability in
that's
the
it, that's it.
relationship. I like that.
I guess I
That's-
could have technically said she's a professional golfer, so I couldn't pick her, but I didn't think of that till right now.
Isn't it Jim Nance who was Fred Couples'
Yep.
roommate
Roommate
in
in
university?
college. Yep.
And he also has a par 3 in his backyard too, doesn't he? Like it's a spectacular little par
Whoa.
3, I believe. I might be making this up, but I think it's Jim Nance.
Well, and that makes it really easy because then we have somewhere to play. Because that's the one thing we
Sure.
didn't have anywhere that we were going to play. Like if I was just going to call a golf course and say I had a foursome, but now I don't even have to do that. So that's really good. Just go play there.
Just one hole.
Yeah, that's just over and over and over again.
I like that you're pretty interested in gambling with Jordan. You were like,
Yeah.
he seems like a gambler. I'd like to play him.
But I gotta preface that by the fact that I'm pretty sure he would put up a lot more money than I would be willing to put up. Like when I said I think I could take him if he was like, $1,000 a hole, I'd be like, no, I could take you though.
Ooh.
Wait, there are no Air de Groots out there. There's only Air Jordan.
I think Nike has that Nike.me where you can make your own. So
Oh,
I
you're
could
right. There you
probably
go.
put one together, but
Excellent.
I don't
There
know
you
who, I don't know I'm going to make 400 million a year off of the sale of them though.
Once the Saudi money starts pouring into this podcast, we'll put it up. We'll put the money up for you versus Jordan.
And you know what? This podcast is probably recording, so I feel very good about, where this
I
whole
love
thing,
do
the
it.
trajectory
We
of
will
this
do
is
it.
just huge.
I like-
We believe in you.
I appreciate that.
I want to see the Air de Groots with the little spikes.
Yeah.
It'd be epic.
Yeah, well, we'll make it happen. You know what? We'll make it happen.
Love it. Question number 3. On a hot summer day, the bar cart comes around. I think you've talked about having some drinks on the course. So you're not adverse to having a couple drinks on the golf course. So what is your drink of choice on a hot summer day when the bar cart comes around?
It would be, I mean, the bar carts generally stock the same kinds of things. So it would be one of your like vodka or gin kind of
Yes, gin smash
whatever.
or neutral
Yeah, gin
or
smash.
something like that.
Exactly. One of those ones. It's my normal drink of choice in a everyday life would be wine, but I wouldn't be able to, consistently drink wine throughout the course of a round and think that I was going to maintain any level of decent play. But yeah, we do. I think after playing professional golf for a while, it took a long time after that to kind of fall in love with the game. And so for us now to be able to go out, I mean, we still play some tournaments every now and then, but for the most part, we just play because we want to keep up a good level of golf, and I want to be able to take my clients out, and if I'm there playing terribly, they're probably not going to look as credible as if I was actually playing well. So there's still some stake in it, but to be able to just go out and have some drinks and enjoy being out there, I think is nice. So definitely a few drinks when we play is a must.
Looking to some European players, they don't have bar carts in Europe. Do they have them in Australia?
Nope.
Wow.
You can get like at my home course, you can go buy like a 6-pack of beer or whatever from the bar before you go out, and they'll put it in a little esky and they'll fill it with ice, and then you can sit in the back of your cart, but they don't have anyone that comes around. They do at like, maybe like charity scrambles and things, but not just in general. It's not a thing.
Interesting. Question number 4, either the angriest you've ever seen someone on the golf course, or how do you keep from losing it? So actually you kind of alluded to it before, where you're talking about how you're playing with someone who might want to hire you for a lesson. Do you feel extra pressure? Do you put more pressure on yourself to play really well? Like, how do you deal with that, the emotional part of the game in that scenario?
I think like when I started playing golf, like when I was younger, I used to get really mad as a kid. I used to get really angry, and I would, smash my clubs and throw things and whatever, just an immature kid. The number of times that my mum said, if you do that one more time, I'm walking off, and that kind of like and that probably comes from putting too much pressure on yourself and trying to be too perfect. I think now, I mean, even when I'm playing with clients, generally speaking, they're probably more nervous than what I am. But the way I handle it more now is just trying to keep it a little bit more in perspective. Like, it's just not, because it's not my life anymore. It doesn't matter if I shoot 68 or 78. No one actually really cares. Like, no one's watching. I'm not getting paid for it. So it's a lot easier to, I guess, keep your cool in those senses. Even when we played on tour, I would get really angry if I bogeyed the last, doubled the last, did something stupid to miss the cut. I would get very angry, like when I would get off the golf course, because it just means so much to you, and you have all this pent up, I think, emotion throughout the day or the round or the week or the build up or whatever it is. And then once it's finished, if it didn't go the right way, you just have all of this, I guess, emotion that you're trying to figure out what to do with. Now I don't really have that. Like the same when we were in Chicago doing this US Open qualifier, I bogeyed 2 of the last 3 holes to miss getting into the US Open by 2 shots. And I was like super frustrated. But at the same time, I was like, well, I practice like maybe once every 2 weeks, and I play maybe once a week, and I can't, like, I can more easily put that sort of stuff into perspective now versus when I was playing and I was like, well, this was my one chance and I stuffed it up, and I'm, and I think you see it a lot, like you see it a lot when you watch somebody like Tyrell Hatton, and you look at him and you think like at any moment this guy's gonna like blow a gasket for sure. And you just see like all of this emotion built up. And even when we went down to the PGA Championship at Oak Hill, and we went on the Saturday, and or the Sunday. We were there on the Sunday, and Rory, we watched him play the last hole, and he's been obviously going through so many demons. And on the last hole, he hits his approach shot and he puts his club over his shoulders and he like bends it on his shoulders. And you just, there's so much emotion and you try so hard, and their stage is so much more magnified than what mine ever was. I mean, it was like my parents watching my score, right? It wasn't like the world was watching, whereas that's what these guys have. So I think perspective is a huge factor now in not necessarily letting the emotions get the better of me, but I still get nervous and I still get anxious. I just don't necessarily get as mad when it doesn't go my way because I don't necessarily have the right to get mad, I guess.
Do you and your wife get competitive ever?
We do, but like, yeah, like we'll play matches and that sort of stuff. And even today I had a break during lessons, and she came from work and we had like a chipping comp, and we kind of chipped around for a little bit, and then I started teaching and she went back to work. But like, we do have matches, but it's generally, I mean, we don't necessarily let it get to the point where somebody's like angry or annoyed or frustrated or whatever. But now we both keep a handicap, like we both enter our scores into the Golf Canada app, and so we have an actual, because before it used to be, well, we play from the same teams, we both play of 0 and it is what it is, but I play more golf than she does, so we keep our handicap and we use the handicap, and it keeps it fun and it keeps it exciting, because golf can get pretty like monotonous if you don't have something, something on the line
driving you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the difference between shooting a 68 and a 78, do you know it while you're playing? And if you do, like at which stage during a round do you know it's either going to be a 68 or a 78?
Usually for me, it's how, like, I generally hit it pretty well. I hit a lot of fairways, I hit a lot of greens. It's more so, am I going to make putts that day? And I can kind of get that vibe relatively early. I try not to mail it in until it's all over, because I've actually started to learn more now as I care less about it. When I just go play, I can get on a bit of a heater and make a lot of birdies in a row, and it's never quite over till it's over. But there are just some days, where your body feels crap, where your hips aren't turning, where your hips are lying on you all of a sudden, right?
This is what I'm saying.
And then you just,
problem.
you just try and hang on and hope to salvage something. But I would say, I mean, like anyone, some days you feel good, some days you don't. Yeah.
Sure.
I'd say I do my best work when I've given up. Once you're like, it's all over, what's the point of it anyway? Then I'm really getting loose.
These last 20 years, you've been really good.
I was about to say, are we talking about golf or life? Like, what are we doing? What are we?
Exactly the same conversation.
You know what? I played with Monty a few weeks. Last week? Was it last week? Something? And Monty was like one stroke up on me, like the 14th hole, and I started getting angry. I'm like, this is not going to happen.
Damn.
Not in my lifetime will this happen.
Not today. Oh, that's funny.
And it didn't. It's okay, guys. It's okay.
No, it didn't happen. My putting
But
was
it
off.
Did you lift your game, or did Monty fall apart? Which one?
I think I lifted that. Look, I'm an okay golfer, but I make the same mistake every time. So once I can just, I am hips. I get too hippie. I turn before impact, and the ball just shoots, and because I'm trying to generate speed, and then I just it's terrible. So when I can keep my hips still, it just became a matter of keeping my hips still. That's really, but it's you want to hammer the ball. That's the problem.
Yeah,
and
want to hit this thing really fast.
Yeah. I think I lost like 14 balls that day. It was terrible.
Damn.
It was just
And you were only down by 1 after 14?
You know what? Twice I lost 3 balls, but I found my first one. Like I hit 3 in the woods and found the first one. So luckily that's how I
that turned it around for you.
Daryl started to pull it together a little bit better. My incompetence was remarkably consistent throughout the game.
All people are looking for is consistency, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Everyone wants to be more consistent, so that's great.
And if you need to know the mindset of a Canadian comedian, that's it in a sentence. That was all we can do. Final question, Emma. It might be a hard one for you to answer, but your favorite golf moment. I mean, you've done so much, you've experienced so much in your life to this stage. What would you say is your favorite golf moment?
I mean, for me personally, it was probably when I got some status on the LPGA tour, because that was sort of the ultimate that's the thing you go for. And LPGA Q School is brutal, and you go through multiple stages, and then the final stage it's just like an emotional grind for a really long time. So when you finally do it and you get some status, and then the next stage you go to this like rookie orientation and you get your little credential and that kind of thing. For me, that was the coolest moment personally. And then watching golf, it would be either whether it was watching Adam Scott win the Masters or when Tiger won the Masters in 2019. That was an amazing moment to kind of witness, I guess. But yeah, that would be my ones.
Fantastic.
It's amazing how many guests have said that about Tiger's win in 2019.
It was just so I don't know. I just think he didn't know that something like that was ever going to happen again. And it just felt like this resurgence out of like this phoenix rising, I guess you would almost say, right? So it was kind of a very cool moment to witness, because a lot of what Tiger did was probably before I was really that interested in watching golf. Like I watch golf all the time now. Love it. But even growing up and even in college, I didn't really watch golf. So I knew Tiger was awesome, but
back in the Skype age, you didn't really
it's just
watch
hard
a lot of golf.
because sometimes you couldn't get the antenna at the right like thing, so it would be like all crackers.
Those damn Skype antennas, my God, they were annoying.
But yeah, so it was just cool.
I know a lot of your focus over the last several years has been around making the game more inclusive to women and more accessible to women. So talk about some of the stuff you're doing now, because you're out on your own and doing stuff. So where can people seek you out?
Yeah, so I mean, they can find me personally. My Instagram is at Emma de Groot Golf. I also do a lot of stuff with Iron Lady Golf, which is
cool. Yeah, we've had her.
So I do some stuff with her, and we've wanted to do some stuff together for a really long time, but it wasn't until I kind of had the freedom working for myself that we had that opportunity to kind of collaborate a little bit more. So I've done a few clinics for her, and we'll do some more stuff together moving forward.
Nice.
But yeah, just basically for me, it's what I found when I started teaching, and even when I was doing club fitting with modern golf, is I think sometimes it's just really intimidating even just to take that first step into trying to play golf. So I'll always try and make it as relaxed and friendly as I can. When people come to take lessons from me, I will basically accommodate anything that anybody wants. If they want to bring 4 of their friends, if they want to come by themselves and have nobody else on the range, I try and kind of accommodate and make it as friendly as I can, and then also try and, I guess you would say, like, educate on what to expect when you get out on the golf course, because it can be very different than, us in our little bubble and a lesson versus when you go play, and there's all sorts of other stuff around. But I mean, yeah, I think for right now, for me, I'm mainly doing individual lessons and then kind of dabbling in this clinic stuff with Lindsay, and then trying to basically say yes to every opportunity that I can in terms of, growing the game, because now I have that ability to do so. So I'm kind of, like I said, just trying to say yes to as many things as I can and see where it all leads.
Including this podcast. And thank you.
Including this podcast. Yes. I know, I said yes pretty quickly.
You did very quickly.
Why not?
Actually.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so great. Yeah. It's really neat what a lot of women are doing to get other women into the game. It's like it feels like a team focus almost, because we were talking about team mindset, but like for the women like Lindsay, who have based their whole business around trying to get more women to say yes to golf, and then we say yes to Lindsay, and then it's just this very cool group of women that are leading the charge. So I think it's awesome that you're part of that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a very cool, and I think it'll just continue to grow, which is a nice thing to see.
Totally.
Thank you so much for coming on. It was so cool to meet you and to hear all of your stories. You were fantastic for your first and a half ever podcast. You were amazing.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Sorry I was 3 minutes
late. I hope the chicken is okay. I hope you can go and pick up what you were doing.
Yeah, no, I'll pick up right where I left off. I'll finish booking that tea time. I'll finish getting this chicken. I'll wash the other chicken that we spoke about earlier, and then
good.
Off to bed for me. Big night.
Excellent. And stay out of downtown Hamilton. You'll be okay.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Thank you so much, Emma.
No worries.
Thank you, Emma.
No worries.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Emma de Groot. Wow, she is one of the women. I have heard her name a gajillion times. She is quite a mentor to a lot of people, and I'm amazed I haven't met her in person, but I'm so excited now that we've made that connection. she truly is leading the charge in a lot of ways to inspire women to get into golf. Love that.
And I thought when she said that she really wanted to get into golf broadcasting, I thought that would be a venue, Gina, for you to be a bit of a leader, and you just let her flail in the wind.
I let it go because she moved on to something even more interesting, and I was like,
That's true.
I was like, I want to ask her, is that her ultimate goal to,
Right.
you know, get into golf commentating, which you need to know golf. You need to come from a golf background in order to be in that role. So I'd love to ask her more about that. So
yeah,
maybe we need a part 2.
I don't know, Gina. I think
Just
you just have to come from an English background. As long as you can just talk about anything. You know what I mean? Like once you're there talking.
Right. You sound like you know what you're talking about.
As a man who's definitely speaking this language.
Yeah.
So that's half the battle.
It's true. It is.
I like that every week we get a potential replacement for Gina.
Yeah, it's
Because
true.
when Gina finally goes, I've had enough.
Yeah,
We just keep because we all know it's coming.
Oh, it's
only
inevitable.
a matter of time.
There's
We're all
nothing
No
more
way.
inevitable.
As she was saying to Elena Sharp the other day, if I could just find 3 better mates to have a podcast with. I don't understand. I don't understand why you, Lindsay Knowlton, like just go out and start your own podcast for women. Like, I'm just giving. We're not going to get rid of you, but I'm saying you guys.
Men are in the way. I'm just caught up with a bunch of guys, bunch of classic stories.
This is the funny thing about podcasts. No one's in your way.
That is so true.
That is Gina's back problems is she's carrying 3 men.
Exactly. That's the Robaxaset talking right there, Gina, that we're in your way. That's we'll give you a pass on that though. But yeah, Emma was an unbelievable guest. That was fantastic. That was really great. That was episode 16. We've got 2 more to go in this season. Do you believe that? We're almost there.
Wow.
Hard to believe.
Look at us.
Just cruising through.
It's hard to believe anything, but then I try to believe everything also at the same time. I'm like, I might as well believe it, you know?
He's an optimist nihilist. That's what he is, folks.
yeah.
That's who Monty Scott is. Thank you all for listening. I hope you play well out there.
God bless you all.
Doesn't need that. My head, I'm like, don't you fucking dare.
Well, it was nice meeting you, Gina. We'll always miss you.
Good luck. All the best with everything, Gina.
Yeah, and I'm going to
enjoy Pablo Pascal.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to all the men in general. Just say, you know what? Don't block Gina's
Don't
new podcast.
get in her way. Even if you think you're being inclusive, you will somehow be in her way.
Get off the tracks.
At least you guys are golfing. I've been like at home with a back injury, so I don't know what that says.
I mean, you're 20 years younger than all of us. Get better, for God's sakes. Like, Jesus.
No, I did recover mostly in 4 days.
Okay, well, we'll get out on the golf course soon.
Oh,
the four of us. Not to exclude Jeff, but he can, as we said before, he can play as a single behind.
Caddy. Love that.
Thank you all.
Daryl, your microphone doesn't work.
Yeah.
Can't hear a thing.
That's a good ending.
That was what the late Henry Longhurst used to call the tradesman's entrance. Now, it doesn't count as